Hi. It's a beautiful evening here. How to levitate. Um, First off, I've never levitated. It is a live possibility for me though. One of my friends in high school, I was told by another party that she levitated. I've had a couple encounters with people who have said so and so levitated in a different situation. So yeah, it's a live possibility for me. Um, just because I know the title's really clickbait, but the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali has an entire section on siddhi powers, magical powers that they're kind of out there. Um, but then again, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and I have Swami Satchidananda's version. It has an underlying premise. Well, a few of them actually, but to start off with, there's Purusha. Purusha is um, a way to describe maybe awareness itself. And then, a physics idea, it would be the quantum field that everything was birthed from. It would be that the quantum field is pure awareness. It's the act of observing. And then there's nature, which is inanimate material. It's our psyches, our personality that we consider ourselves. And it's also matter, cats, trees, our physical world. So that's one side of it, so that awareness itself would be above matter, which would mean that awareness itself is actually the origin of gravity, so that um, by focusing awareness in a certain way, which we all have part and parcel of, since we all have inner awareness, inner vision, inner consciousness, we can direct that consciousness towards a certain goal or function and develop a kind of supernormal power. Um, so that's a groundwork. Another groundwork of the Yoga Sutras is that our we're not going to be able to do these meditations where we do things like meditate on the strength of an elephant to the point where we're doing samayama, which is basically a way to, well, it's a threefold process of concentrating to the point where the concentration becomes fluid. So there's first two stages. There's focusing on an object where your concentration breaks. Suppose I'm thinking about the strength of elephants, and someone had said this is where most people feel that they can't meditate, that it's not going to work. Because as they're trying to calm down and think of the strength of elephants and meditate on the picture of an elephant and really get absorbed in um, how strong and powerful that elephant is, their mind wanders, their concentration breaks. But that would be the first stage of meditation called dharana. And that's just a preliminary stage. For someone who pushes further, their concentration on the strength of elephants would be more flowing, more continuous. Um, it would kind of be like it would be an absorption. Um, and one of the ideas about starting off with practice of the Yoga Sutras is to find an object that's really absorbing for you. So it's easier to meditate. It's easier for your mind to become involved in it. Another suggestion is to definitely find an object of meditation, an object of focus that's uplifting, something that raises your spirits, raises your vibration. So, you could really get uplifted about the strength of elephants and how you want to be that strong. But the third point of this meditation that the Yoga Sutras talks about is um, samadhi, and samadhi is where everything else kind of fades out and all you really see is the object you're focusing on. Um, and it's said to be very hard to describe. I think maybe I've maybe gotten there a couple times when something kind of seemed like comic book-ish and it was just kind of flashing in my mind and I'm meditating on a crystal rose and it seems kind of like Ren and Stimpy when they do a really big close-up and it looks odd and then I'm just looking at this crystal rose and completely entranced and completely, I have a thought like, I could be thinking about that other thing, but all I see is a rose. Um, so I think that was a kind of samadhi, and I've been doing a meditation kind of lately, and I should probably just focus on it a lot more because I've had good results with it. And this isn't, meditation for transcending or escaping. This is meditation for focusing on specific things, having an agenda of specific goals that you want to accomplish through meditation. It could be levitating. Um, so I was meditating on money, a dollar bill, and not meditating where I'm thinking positive thoughts about money, which is good too. And I've had some results with just meditating on an object and thinking a stream of positive thoughts about the object of meditation, and the next day, things in my life will kind of be orientated towards that. But that's not samadhi. That's more of a maybe a depth meditation, which is perfectly fine, where you can, um, just look at a picture of a rose and think about all the love you want in your life and all the positive love experiences you've had in your life and how good love makes you feel, and your first love and your first kiss, and go on and build kind of an energy pattern around that. And that's a helpful meditation, but it's not samayama, which is, like I said, just focusing on one pointedness, where, and with the dollar bill, I was using that, and with the rose example I gave, just focusing on one pointedness, one idea. So I would focus on money and I would just think money and other thoughts would come into my head. And I'd be like, no, no, we're doing this right now. We're thinking of money. We're not thinking of money, anything else like what money does or how good money is or that money's neutral or any of those kind of affirmation kind of positivity things. We're just looking at a dollar bill and thinking money. So that might be before you try levitating. That might be a good meditation to do, to take whatever denomination of currency or even a coin and get absorbed by it and not think of anything else except that it's money, that there is money, and really hone in on it and really get absorbed by the green of it. And this isn't, 15-minute thing. This is 40 minutes or an hour every day, in a place of quietness and, you know, cleaning yourself, cleaning your space, taking a bath, relaxing. Some music that maybe is not distracting. Um, if you listen to binaural beats or isochronic tones, that could be good. Music that doesn't have lyrics, music that doesn't have a mantra or anything. Something that's really just going to help you tune out and tune into this dollar bill or $5 bill, um, whatever. You can definitely look at all the symbolism on it, notice, what year it was made, um, the president on it, but don't connect that thought to anything outside the simple focus of money. Um, and it's kind of like riding a bike, and I'm describing it, and it's not, not going to get you there, but just practice it and let your inner teacher kind of help you focus on this money. And I would suggest the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali before. I know I'm rambling and I'm not getting into how to levitate, but there has to be some groundwork, some preliminary ideas. You can't just think that, okay, I'm do this magical trick, or I'm gonna do this yoga or meditation. I'm gonna use my power of belief, use my affirmations, and that's gonna work because, for one thing, we have a brain and a body that might not be on board with these things. So you've got to kind of scaffold these things up. So the Yoga Sutras gives the whole regime of things like hatha yoga. Yeah. Well, you don't have to do hatha yoga. You don't have to do the body stretching and exercise, but it's gonna really help. Um, and the whole point of that is, yeah, it improves your health. It helps you relax. Good for your whole body and everything. Definitely, these things have been scientifically, evolved over the course of hundreds or thousands of years in India, and they're very good for your health. But that's not the the overarching goal. Is that you can calm down and focus on a dollar bill or whatever aspect of meditation you've chosen. Um, Breathing, getting your breathing in line, doing some breathing exercises where you calmly breathe, retain your breath, alternate nostril breathing, breathing and chanting, because breathing is very associated with our consciousness. And if you want to change your consciousness, you can change your breathing. And if you notice that when you're upset, your breath is going to be shallow and panty, and when you're relaxing with the ones you love and your breath is deep and relaxed, you can reverse engineer that and make your breathing deep and relaxed and trigger yourself to get in a more relaxed state, which is what we want to do if we're going to focus on um, an object of meditation for any definite goal. Um, and don't think of the rest of the Yoga Sutras with, admonitions that you should be celibate or that you shouldn't lie. I mean, first off, in our Western world, we're probably going to have to lie for our own safety. But anyway, without further ado, by mastery over the Udana nerve current, the upward vital air, one accomplishes levitation over water, swamps, storms, etc., and can leave the body at will. The Udana nerve current is from basically here to here. So if you want to levitate, you want to hone in on that nerve current in a quiet space, relax. Probably do the preliminary work of getting your body right, doing some yoga, some exercise, having a routine daily of breathing exercises, um, calming your life down so that you're not worried about the bad things that are going to happen and bill collectors knocking at your door, which is a lot what the Yoga Sutras, the whole first section, a lot about calming your life down so that you can do these sorts of things. If you're already there, your life is calm and relaxed, your finances are in good shape, you're not worrying about shit, then, this is something that, would be there for you to go for, or other areas of spiritual and magical practice like this. But meditating from the Udana nerve current, the upward vital air, from here to here, feeling it, deepening your feeling of it, meditating on it, being one with it, not thinking about anything else except and I'm not pronouncing it right, I'm sure, Udana nerve current, so I'm not pronouncing it right. But that's probably gonna be able to get you to levitate. Um, you're probably gonna have to spend 2 weeks daily, and if you really want to levitate that bad, this is gold. This is a way you could do it. But like I said, you've got to have the groundwork. You've got to scaffold these kind of things, however you're going to explain it to yourself, because our rational mind isn't going to accept such a thing. So if you tell your rational mind, well, I'm doing this because quantum physics says consciousness influences reality is consciousness itself. Whatever you've got to do to scaffold yourself up so that this is, as William James said, a live possibility, that you're investing yourself in and not a dead possibility. That's important when it comes to magic or any of these practices. I found having a culture of people who aren't rationalistic, who aren't secular, is helpful for me just to be able to believe that these things are a live possibility. And then my results with these kind of things kind of take off, and I'm praying for a pack of cigarettes to appear in the street, and the next day I walk out in the street and there's a pack of cigarettes. Well, I need the pack of cigarettes, so I prayed for it to come in the street because that was the way I wanted the pack of cigarettes to come to me. And there was a pack of cigarettes in the street, and thank you, Yeshua, because I built up, a cultural, saying that this is something real. If you're a Christian kind of person from a Christian community, you're probably going to have a lot more success with these types of things, because even though everyone around you is saying it's bad, they're saying it's real. I'm in kind of a secular conservative community, so no one believes in this kind of stuff. I have to kind of reach out to have some social, cultural, you know, kind of support. But that's very important because we're cultural animals, and if you think you're going to use the power of belief without cultural support, that's just not going to work. You need to have a culture of people who do believe. So, to levitate, get yourself in the yoga practice. I highly recommend this book, Swami Satchidananda's Yoga Sutras. Meditate deeply, couple weeks probably before you start seeing some results, or maybe sooner if you're, a really apt meditator and you have the faith to really be into it. You could probably get results, sooner. I'm not going to say you can levitate the first night, but it is a live possibility for me. I hope it's a live possibility